the love that we're from. These and greater things shall you do. Open up the gift inside. God's box is a circle. God's box got no side. God's box is infinite. Got nothing else inside. We're not right and you're not wrong. Allah, Buddha, and Jesus are one in the same direction. Ain't no competition in God's box. Is a circle. God's box got no side. God's box is infinite. Got nothing else inside. Come one, come all, come together. We've got so much to share. One light, one love, one power. Here, there, and everywhere. God's box is a circle. God's box got no sides. God's box is infinite. Got nothing else inside. God's box is a circle. God's box got no sides. God's box is infinite. Got nothing else
Welcome to worship with United Churches of Langley Online. We continue our summer of Psalms where we gather together online to experience the nurture and the guidance and the support of these beautiful interpretations of the Psalms by Nan Merrill. Our time this summer is intended to help to build our resilience, to help us feel grounded and centered in God and open up to the divine as it starts to guide and support us as we move towards our fall and new plans for worship in many different ways. We gather this way as we have for the past 18 months, and each and every time we acknowledge that the land that we're gathering on to record this, to stream this to you, is the unceded and ancestral lands of the Kwantlen, the Katzie, the Matsqui, and the Semiahmoo people. We acknowledge this each and every week as our first act of reconciliation, as a way of bringing to our hearts and minds the land relationship these people have, and what our desire is to continue to walk a path of determining, discerning, working together to reconcile the relationship that has been breached and broken in the past, but yet has such potential of a partnership as we walk humbly as the settlers who took this unceded land and yet have a desire to be in right relationship with both the land and the peoples of this land. And so we acknowledge this and we honor their stewardship in how they walk, in how they care, in how they relate to each other and to us.
An excerpt from Psalm 140. For I desire to be a channel of peace, to reflect the beauty of creation. Oh, that I might manifest your love to all whom I meet, and mirror your mercy and justice. Guide me, O beloved, that I may become spiritually mature. Love me into new life. For are we not called to make love conscious in our lives? To divinize the earth with heavenly splendor? Reawaken my sense of wonder, that I may be childlike, that I might flow in harmony with the universe and be a bearer of integrity. An excerpt from Psalm 147. Praise the beloved life of all life. Invite love into your heart, for divine love gives strength to the weak, courage to face their fears. Divine love brings peace to the heart, peace that is beyond our knowledge. May everyone awaken to divine love, that peace and integrity and assurance may be born again in every land. O my soul, praise the beloved. An excerpt from Psalm 147. Praise the beloved, heart of all hearts. We are blessed as we sing praises to the beloved. For as we give ourselves in love, so we receive love, and beloved abides in our heart. In every open heart that welcomes love, sing to the beloved with a thanksgiving. Mingle with the melodies of the spheres. Awaken to your inheritance in all the universe. For you belong to heaven, to the stars and galaxies. You come also from the earth, from mineral and plant. Pure water courses through your veins. Every creature, those that swing and fly and walk on land, knows you as of old, and each human, in body or in spirit, welcomes you in the heart song of love, where we are one being.
It only takes a spark to get a fire going, and soon all those around can warm up to its glowing. That's how it is with God's love. Once you've experienced it, you spread God's love to everyone you want to pass it on. What a wondrous time is spring, when all the trees are budding. The birds begin to sing, the flowers start their blooming. That's how it is with God's love. Once you've experienced it, you want to sing. It's fresh like spring. You want to pass it on. I wish for you, my friend, come to me. I want to pass it on. I'll shout it from the mountaintop. I want my world to know that all this love has come to me. I want to pass it on.
Blessed are you, O Radiant One, you who are hidden within our hearts, even as we are hidden within your heart. You invite us to participate in the divine unfoldment as we awaken from our long sleep and give birth to creativity. Open us that we might recognize the divine in every person and become sensitive to all we meet along the path. For you are the breathing life of all, the infinite and eternal within our hearts. Evoke the child in our souls, that purity and grace might flourish. Inflame us with compassion so we nurture ourselves and others with healing and forgiveness. Empower us with wisdom and knowledge that we might bring forth the divine plan. And let us recognize the truth that clear vision might unfold. Let us sing a new song to you, O beloved. With drums and flutes, let us express our joy. You who are divine love, receive our devotion, that we may walk in beauty. May our heart's ears heed well the divine word written on every heart, that integrity and justice may dwell within us. Let us each be receptive to the spirit that inspires, allowing the will to respond with action. And may all judgments and denials be released, that our souls are freed to serve with light and joy. Thus will we recognize oneness within the divine spark dwelling within our hearts, fanning it to illuminate the way. Gratitude and inner peace will abide in every tranquil soul, blessing the universe that lovingly cares for us. Amen. One of the amazing things within creation is the diversity. There are a wide breadth of differences in all that the Creator touched. The diversity of plants, animal, and human life is immensely creative and humbling. The divine beauty that creation showcases has inspired art since time immemorial. We can still see impressions of animals and people smudged on cave walls, carved from stone, and carved in stone. The connection to creation inspires something within us, which links us right back to the earliest people. We have always aimed to capture the essence of creation in art. This has such varied results, from realistic, detail-oriented replicas of landscapes to alternative expressions of art such as cubism and surrealism, which capture an energy or essence which may feel otherwise inexpressible. Here we are at the end of summer, watching life come to fruition all around us in bountiful harvest and bright blooms. The summer months heading into cooler days of fall seem to rekindle new life from within us, as we witness the life flourishing in everything surrounding us. How can we show our thanks and praise? We can give thanks for the beauty all around us and do what we can to help preserve and cultivate new life. That creativity, the awakening of new possibilities within and without, all around us and through our whole beings. Let us express this joy and love and kindle such celebration in others, for we all reflect the beauty of creation, in all our diversity of ways of being. The utmost commandment held in Jesus' teachings is to love the Lord our God with all our heart, mind, and soul, and to love our neighbor as ourselves. To take this literally, our treatment of one another is vital. But following some indigenous ways of knowing, if we have respect for all living beings, all things, and everything in our world, this can lead toward more balance, peace, and help humans live in harmony with respect to creation. In some classes with indigenous teachers, I have heard rocks called our grandfathers, and I began to understand our landscape differently. Learning local creation stories changed my perspective of the land, of rock formations with longer histories than I could imagine, of ways of navigating the world by landmarks that I had never thought twice about or even noticed. The ways in which our creation stories shape us. What these ways of understanding our world and history help us remember changes, how we interact with the world around us. The connections we may now be making with each other, often for the first time in many months, awaken a kindling of life within us. We look forward to a reprieve from the isolation of COVID as we see people up close, sometimes without masks again, able to express ourselves with our whole face. These connections can be refreshing and inspiring. Now that we are able to gather with more people, what of our faith are we inspired to share with others? How can we connect meaningfully? What challenges might arise in connecting with others? Connecting after such a long time of self-isolating will likely open up a well of feelings within us. Some of these feelings may surprise us. They may be long repressed or previously unknown to us, unrecognized as we were trying to stay stimulated and connected from within our circle of safety, our homes or our bubbles. We now have the opportunity to gather to celebrate love and life. In the last 2 weeks, I conducted 2 weddings and co-presided over a memorial with Sophia. Spaces are beginning to open up, and we are able to celebrate the lives of those around us or of those we have lost for the first time in over a year. We are hoping to be able to more fully open our building in early October. I hope we will not enter into the building expecting everything to be the same. Much has changed since we last gathered as a full community. Some people will no longer be able to join us and may rely on our continued live stream to stay connected in community. Many of us have aged significantly, have encountered health problems, lost loved ones, mobility, or some of our senses. How might we connect with those who are not able to connect with us in all the ways that they used to? Part of the Affirm process is meant to encourage us to consider all the wonderful differences in the world and consider what barriers we may have constructed, whether knowingly or unknowingly, which keep people from accessing our community and space. Considerations of age, ability, and that we are all only temporarily able-bodied are vital in building welcoming communities. Considering how our space may be experienced by those whose sight or sound are not the same as ours, help us construct spaces which communicate a better welcome. Part of cultivating our appreciation for and support of new life around us is being open to new ideas as we encounter those which are different from ourselves. When we meet new people, we will inevitably be exposed to new ways of thinking. Happily, we see a multitude of biblical examples of how God can unite across various boundaries. People see themselves reflected and are inspired by others being their full selves. People being unapologetically their full selves might feel frightening or threatening to us. That might be a reflection of some part within us that we're afraid to let out. It can be scary to see someone living out loud with a part of ourselves we may have been taught to hide. Hiding parts of ourselves can lead us to act out in ways that might hurt us or others. How can we celebrate our full selves? Can we find ways to build safe places to be ourselves? Let us express divine joy. Let us praise you. We will share this ecstasy and celebration and of creation and of the diversity of others. But what of how we arrive in the space? How can we show up for each other? One thing I have noticed is that we often arrive to church full to bursting with feelings and ideas. I ask that you might try to ground yourself before sharing when we join one another. Seek conversational consent with those around you. It is more fulfilling for everyone involved if we can all be prepared to enter into intense conversations. This allows us all to be more fully present with one another. A regional staff person teaches us to consider our contributions. Is it timely? Is it actionable? Is it constructive? And is it kind? So let's be tactful in our time together, try to hear each other with grace, and live with the love we are called to by the one we follow. I know for me, slowing down is a key part of this work. So I encourage you to start or continue building some grounding habits. Take the time to stop, think, and reflect, breathe, and see if some things might fall away. Often I have to make a list or jot down the thoughts that seem to circle in my head to be able to be more clear-headed. Sometimes it helps me to write down what may feel overwhelming until I can see it listed in front of me, perhaps broken down into steps. Or sometimes I can see that I have been overreacting, and the things I need to do, say, or change are much less significant than they have grown to be in my head. What helps you to unwind? Is it meditation or making art? I know the earth and my place on it are key to me grounding. If I can get to a body of water and look up at the stars, a vast ocean or a large lake, I get a sense of my own insignificance in the grand scheme of things. When I can slow down and appreciate stages of growth in my garden, I can better appreciate my own and others' process of growth. Let us also extend this grace to the world around us. How might we better live in balance, in harmony, within our relationships with creation? How can we share those personal connections to spirit with others? How can we help creation to come alive in others' eyes? I hope we can cultivate beauty, majesty, and awe. I hope this renews our call to the responsibility to nurture earth around us, so it may continue to inspire future visitors and generations. Let's be gentler with this land which is not truly ours, to reflect our respect for all people, all of creation, everything God has created around us. How can we see ourselves reflected in creation? Creation is by no means a homogeneous amalgam. It is more rich and varied than we can imagine, and also more inextricably linked in symbiotic relationships. Is this what inspires us to create and share those creations with others? Can you feel that excitement about the beauty of creation well up inside of you? Are there particular memories you return to, special places you retreat to for inspiration or contemplation? Where do you find reprieve when the world is too much? This is still all about Jesus' foremost commandment, to love the Lord our God with our heart, mind, and soul, and to love our neighbors as we love ourselves. This command of self-love and holding ourselves as well as others in grace and with love points the way to a different way of living. If all of us could show compassion for ourselves and each other, what a different world we would live in. I do know that as we head from the summer of Psalms to the season of creation in the fall, that we have a lot of bountiful harvests to share. This could be food, but also ideas that have been brewing, stories to share, requests for prayers, and more. Let us enter into these times openly, aware and in love with ourselves and all those around us. Let us continue to follow the call in Nan Merrill's Psalms, well beyond August, and bring these prayers to life. Open us that we might recognize the divine in every person and become sensitive to all we meet along the path. For you are the breathing life of all, the infinite and eternal within our hearts. Evoke the child in our souls, that purity and grace might flourish. Inflame us with compassion so we nurture ourselves and others with healing and forgiveness. Amen.
live. The gifts I have, great and small, I give them all. I give, simply, purely from my soul, I give. Here I am, a vessel to be used. Whatever Spirit needs of me, I will be, I will be, I will be. Here I stand. My heart is here to serve. Wherever love is leading me, I will go, I will go, I will go. With open heart I love, with open mind I search for truth within me. With open eyes I see the gift unfold. I give this open hand for you to hold. Here I am, a vessel to be used. Whatever Spirit needs of me, I will be, I will be, I will be. Here I stand. My heart is here to serve. Wherever love is leading me, I will go, I will go, I will go. Wherever love is leading me, I will go, I will go, I will go.
Our prayers of the people today come from Psalm 110 and 111. The Beloved says to all who will hear, "Come, walk with me. Let us give birth to a new earth. For the Spirit is the one who makes all things new and ever awaits our yes to the dance. Those who offer themselves freely, without reserve, are guided through life's rough paths. Light beckons to light, divine dignity adorns them in holy array. The promise holds true forever to all generations. As companions of the Most High, come, claim your home in the universal heart. You, O divine breath, dwell within our hearts. With strong love, you comfort our fears. You call us to holiness, to justice and integrity, to free those bound by oppression, to bring light where ignorance and darkness dwell. Wondrous is creation, great builder. We take pleasure in pondering your work. Full of honor and integrity are your teachings. Those who follow them will find new life. We lift the hearts of those who suffer. You come to us in our need. Your steadfast love is food for the soul, nourishment in times of fear. You are ever mindful of your covenant, a very presence to the weary and afflicted. Your word is truth. To those with ears to hear, your precepts are sure. Written on the hearts of your people, they are to be lived forever with faith-filled love and assurance. You bring new life to the world. Yes, life in abundance is your gift to us. Holy and gracious is your name. Reverence for you, O Holy One, is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all who practice it. Your spirit endures forever. Amen. Speak these words with me of a paraphrase of the Lord's Prayer by Reverend Bruce Sanguin. Hidden heart of the cosmos and future shaper, light of all light, whose radiant center is everywhere. You are my everything, my heart's desire, my hope, the point and the process of this great unfolding. I make a covenant with you to establish a reign of peace, justice, and unity within myself, with others, and upon this miracle planet. Release me from my love affair with the worst in me, so that the best in me may shape a future worthy of this one precious life. When I vacillate and shrink from this high holy calling, I pray that my foolishness may not result in actions that hurt others more than they or I can bear. Nothing else matters than that my life reflects your light, your power, your rule, so that one day I may awaken and know that you are seeing the world through my eyes and touching the world through my touch, and coming, always coming through me and all your holy friends to birth a new creation now and now and now. All of this is your doing. Amen. For our ministry highlight today, I'd like to share a little bit about what's been happening with the contemplative service as well as our centering prayer group. They have found creative ways over this time of COVID to stay connected with God and with each other. Early on, they all just did their own centering prayer practices separate from each other, but began to long for some sort of connection with each other. And so they selected readings amongst them, both the centering group and the contemplative prayer group. And they started to reflect and read those scriptures separately, but yet together. The centering prayer group then has created an email group where they select readings, which right now are prayers of the earth, And each and every week, they share their responses and their insights that they've received as part of their centering prayer time on these specific readings. It's been a rich dialogue of sharing and insights. And now our contemplative service, which meets at 9 a.m. on Sundays, has begun to gather together. Just a small group, but I guess growing, because I'm hearing there's 9 or 10 or 11 and even 12 people have gathered. They've pre-selected the readings and created a little booklet and have pre-recorded music to play so they might feel the music lead them into the silence that is part of their contemplative service practice. I so honor and bless these two groups and the ways they've been able to stay together and be creative so that they don't lose that time of silence that has been so important during this isolating time. And so let us give thanks for their ministry with each other and how they have done to journey together and to keep these ministries going. Centering prayer has been just a beautiful time of creating connection with Spirit and each other. And all of this would not be possible if it wasn't for you. Your giving has allowed for our ministries and connection to our buildings and the church to continue even during this time when we've been apart. We're so grateful that you have found it within yourself to continue to give generously, to give of yourselves, to give of your time for the volunteers who have coordinated these ministries, and those of you who have been able to continue to give generously through our many ways to give. As you know, you can give through GivePoint, our online GivePoint platform, which is in the chat as well as on the screen. You can send in a check or mail a check off to our Murrayville location. And if you'd like to either adjust, maybe add to your PAR or start on PAR, pre-authorized giving, you can email Sherry at finance@ucol.ca. However you've chosen to give, you've made ministry happen and made ministry possible during this time. So we give you so much thanks and hope that you can continue to give as we venture together in plans of gathering together in small, medium, and ultimately larger groups as we head into our fall. Thank you for your generosity.
God who touches earth with beauty, make my heart anew. With your spirit recreate me, pure and strong and true. Like the arching of the heavens, lift my thoughts above. Turn my dreams to noble action, ministries of love. Like a bird that soar while singing, give my heart a song. May the music of thanksgiving echo clear and strong. God who touches earth with beauty, make my heart anew. Keep me ever by your spirit, pure and strong and true.
Psalm 147. Praise the beloved, heart of all hearts. We are blessed as we sing praises to the beloved. For as we give ourselves in love, so we receive love. The beloved abides in our hearts, in every open heart that welcomes love. Divine love brings peace to the heart, peace that is beyond our knowledge. Divine love cuts through the ignorance that fosters greed and arrogance, humbling and breaking open the heart. Divine love severs the veil that separates realms of the profane and the sacred. Holiness radiates through all touched by divine love, a refining fire. Wisdom flows from the heart of divine love to all receptive hearts, nurtured in the silence. Yes, the divine word is written on every heart scroll, a guide to pilgrims on the way. May everyone awaken to divine love, that peace and integrity and assurance may be born again in every land. Amen.
My love colors outside the lines, exploring paths that few could ever find, and takes me into places where I've never been before, and opens doors to worlds outside the lines. My Lord colors outside the lines, turns wounds to blessings, water into wine, and takes me into places where I've never been before, and opens doors to worlds outside the lines. We'll never walk on water if we're not prepared to drown. Body and soul need a soaking from time to time. We'll never move the gravestone if we're not prepared to die and realize worlds outside the lines. My soul longs to color outside the lines. Tear back the curtain, sun, come in and shine. I want to walk beyond the boundaries where I've never been before, throw open doors to worlds outside the lines. My soul longs to color